Today I am going to explain the lesson We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together by Gorden Cook and Ellen East. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together is an exciting account of a family's experience at sea. It not only underlines the difficulties that mariners or sailors often face at sea, but also brings out poignantly, splendidly, the spirit of togetherness in a family who are prepared to brave death together. In July 1976, my wife Mary, son Jonathan 6, daughter Suzanne 7, and I set sail from Plymouth, England, to duplicate the round the world voyage made 200 years earlier by Captain James Cook. The author, his wife Mary, son Jonathan, who was 6 years old, daughter Suzanne, who was only 7 years old, and the author set sail from Plymouth, England, to repeat the round the world voyage made 200 years earlier by James Cook, Captain James Cook. For the longest time, Mary and I, a 37-year-old businessman, had dreamt of sailing in the wake of the famous explorer, and for the past 16 years, we had spent all our leisure time honing our seafaring skills in British waters. Now, the author and his wife, they had dreamt about this journey, this voyage. Voyage is a long journey taken by sea. They had dreamt of going around the world like Captain James Cook had, and for 16 years they had spent all their free time in improving their seafaring skills, that is, the skills which are required while sea voyages in British waters. Our boat, Wave Walker, a 23-meter, 30-ton wooden hulled beauty, had been professionally built, and we had spent months fitting it out and testing it in the roughest weather we could find. So they had got a boat built professionally, that is very efficiently, and named it Wave Walker. It was a 23-meter long and 30-ton made of wood boat, and they had spent months fitting it and testing it in the roughest weather they could find to check if the boat was fit enough to go around the world. The first leg of a planned 3-year, 105,000 kilometers journey passed pleasantly as we sailed down the west coast of Africa to Cape Town. So, the first part of their journey from Plymouth to Cape Town, they sailed on the western coast of Africa, and it was quite a pleasant journey. There, before heading east, we took on 2 crewmen, and before heading for east, they took 2 crewmen, American Larry Vigil and Swiss Herb Schindler, to help us tackle one of the world's roughest seas, the southern Indian Ocean. So they took these 2 crewmen so that they could deal with the world's most difficult, most dangerous seas, the southern Indian Ocean. On our second day out of Cape Town, we began to encounter strong gales. For the next few days, they blew continuously. So, on their second day out of Cape Town, when they sailed from Cape Town, they started facing strong winds, and these winds continued to blow for few weeks. Gales did not worry me, but the size of the waves was alarming. The author was not worried by the winds, but the size of the waves was quite frightening. Up to 15 meters, as high as our main mast. So these waves were as high as their main mast. December 25th found us 3,500 kilometers east of Cape Town. Despite atrocious weather, despite very bad weather, we had a wonderful holiday complete with a Christmas tree. So they celebrated Christmas very nicely in spite of the bad weather. New Year's Day saw no improvement in the weather. New Year's Day also did not see any improvement in the weather. The weather continued to be bad even on New Year Eve. But we reasoned that it had to change soon. So they rationalized that the weather is not going to remain the same. As they moved east, the weather was bound to change. And it did change for the worse. The weather did change, but not as they had expected. The weather did not improve, it only became worse.